So far, we have went from Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire confirmed for the upcoming third entry in the Spider-Man MCU trilogy, to maybe they're in conversation, to Tobey Maguire is not really agreeing to anything, to now Andrew Garfield is rejecting all the offers. Let's talk about the reality of this situation. So I think it's pretty safe to say that there's been plenty of confusion and backtracking to when it comes to the original sources of the news of what we're about to talk about. Now, all this comes back to the original article where everybody ran the story that Marvel Studios, Disney, and Sony were bringing back and confirmed to be bringing back Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man from the Amazing Spider-Man universe and Tobey Maguire from the Tobey Maguire-Sam Raimi trilogy. Now, of course, Sony came right out and said, no, that's all lies, that's not true, that's not happening, and we thought that that was that. But then, of course, we started to hear more stories, and I've already covered the Tobey Maguire one, which was the first one to hit, about how he's holding out on Marvel Studios and Disney. You guys can find that. I'll make sure it's popped up there in a little annotation type dealio, whatever the hell those are. But to keep up with that, now apparently Andrew Garfield is also holding out because he doesn't see the benefit and doesn't want to return either. So a potential Spider-Verse, if you will, is seemingly off the table. Maybe, who knows, rumors, speculation, confirmations, right? Now apparently what is happening is Andrew Garfield is refusing to sign a new contract. He doesn't want to come back. He's rejected the offers made to him, and that's the end of it. But here's the thing, if the original source is to be believed, then they already had the contracts. If both sides signed a contract, one side nullifying the contract, specifically the actor refusing to show up after agreeing and signing a contract, would pretty much completely ruin his life and he will never work again. That's not the case. So why exactly would Garfield be holding out? Who really knows? Here's my speculation, and I'm just here speculating on my part. He had a terrible time with Sony, and goddamn awful time working with them on the Amazing Spider-Mans. They undercut him and Mark Webb pretty much every step of the way, changed things behind their back, and wanted to force what they were doing midway into every single day of shooting onto the vision that they had. That's why he walked away after the second movie, and him and Sony have had a pretty terrible partnership. Again, Andrew Garfield could have stuck around, continued to make the third, fourth Amazing Spider-Man, the Sinister Six crossovers, the Venom crossover they were developing at the time as part of that universe, but he ditched all the money and all that, and has since been pretty much stepping away from Sony, and they've never worked together really. So why exactly would he come back now? My speculation would be, again speculation, is that he would come back, but this time it's Disney, it's Marvel, and they're working with Sony. Why wouldn't he want to come back for a major payday? It just doesn't make sense to me. What he wanted, what Mark Webb wanted right from the start, was to be in the MCU. We know they started those discussions all the way back when Amazing Spider-Man 1 and the Avengers were shooting. They just couldn't make a deal to be able to include Oscorp Tower and vice versa, so nothing got worked out. They went back to try to discuss it for the Amazing Spider-Man 2, but neither side would give in. So ultimately that film flopped and it was rebooted, and now we are where we're at, and that's really that. Now, since Sony seems to have figured out that working with others is the best way to go about it, and they're clearly willing to work with people that they never thought they would work with again, why wouldn't he come back? Am I making any sense here to anybody? Why would Andrew Garfield suddenly be offered a smaller Spider-Man role, more than likely for a pretty good amount of money, and turn it down if it can finally put him in the MCU, and if it's true, as it's been reported, that they're looking to possibly develop sequels to Spider-Man 4 and the Amazing Spider-Man 2 as part of their grandiose Spider-Verse universe? Why would he turn down this but agree to those? Again, I have to be making sense here to somebody, right? Like, why are the same people saying, well, they're not back for this now, even though we said we were, but they're also developing standalone films, but they're not willing to work with Disney, but they're willing to work with Sony. So you're really out here telling me that Andrew Garfield does not want to work with Disney and Marvel Studios, who is somehow lining him up for a return, but he wants to work with the people that straight up disrespected him and fired him What? Just get your story straight at this point, because everything you're reporting is contradicting the other things.